Okay. We're doing stuff. Hi.
Hi. Okay.
Frogbear!
What were we talking about?
You were telling me the story about your light rail ride
Hmm.
this morning, and I thought we should share it with the world.
All right. So,
You have to do the facial expressions you made though, because that was
every
priceless.
every Sunday is my trek down to Soto for band practice, and I take the light rail, which is this kind of train setup that goes from downtown down to Soto, and it's about 4 stops. And I got on there, and it was way more busy than I'm used to it being. It was like a lot of people, which I thought was okay. A little weird, but okay. But it was just packed, and packed. So I'm standing there waiting for the train to go, and then everybody around me starts taking their pants off, like everyone. And I was like, "Is it my birthday?" And like I was so fucking confused. So I started taking off my belt, like I didn't want to feel left out, and I was just like, I thought it was weird. And it's like I'm taking off my belt, and then I had a moment of clarity. I was like, "What the hell is going on?" And somebody was just like, "Oh, it's Seattle. You know, it's pantsless day." And I'm like, "That's a thing?" Like, yeah. And I'm like, "Since when?" I'm like, "Forever." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And they're like, do you have a team? Do you need a team? Because apparently they have team things where like now like people take their pants off and then they challenge other teams of people who have their pants off, like rock paper scissors or truth or dare or do backflips, whatever. And like, do you have a team? I'm like, no. Do you want a team? No. I just wash these fucking jeans. They look amazing on me. I'm not taking them off. I just thought it was so fucking weird though, because it was just like I'm standing there, people are taking their pants off around me, and I'm not. So weird.
Usually you're the one who's taking your pants off.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
so-
I thought I was
so
being
strange
embarrassed
for
around the
you.
room, and it was everybody else.
Yeah.
I felt so left out.
I just love was it my birthday?
Seriously, I thought I had done something right.
The world is now a pants-free place.
So,
Hooray!
you're running a Dungeons and Dragons game.
Starting on Tuesday.
Yeah,
This is my first time running a big game.
She did a trial run with myself and a roommate, and we're I wouldn't say like hardcore veterans. Well, he is. I'm not. But we played pretty much almost every version
I
of
think
D&D.
I've played the least amount of time of anyone in this house, and I've been playing for over a decade.
Yeah,
so,
I've been playing since I was 13. I'm 30 now.
Yeah.
So, and I played most any incarnation of D&D besides First Ed, because fuck that go.
Wasn't that go in Second Ed too?
I don't know. Maybe I don't. It's been way too long. But I played Pendragon. I played Shadowrun. I played. We have a. What are we playing with Spence?
Pathfinder.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Pathfinder, which is 3.5. Awesome.
No, it's like 3.75.
Yeah.
The way most people refer to it.
Fun actually.
It is. It's very technical though. There's just a lot of little fiddly details, which is very reminiscent of 3.5.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really weird though, like reading through all the materials for 5th Ed, and then going and playing the Pathfinder game, because it's just like, man, there's a lot of stuff here. It's very crunchy. And I realize it's nowhere near the crunchiest game ever made.
No,
but
to be fair, actually, like 2 was incredibly crunchy.
Yeah.
From what I remember,
Yeah.
anyway. It was. Oh man, it's been so long since
Yeah.
I was 13. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, and especially for me, like, this is going to be an interesting thing to run, because I'm used to running, like, really, really story-heavy games. Like, I've done one-offs of Inspectors. And
Inspectors is fun, though.
Yeah, Inspectors is really
the one time
fun.
we played is the first time I ever played it. That was really
Yeah,
fun.
I've run it, like, 4 or 5 times, I want to say. And I just run it as one-offs, and it's super goofy fun. Where it's all about like combine the idea of the Ghostbusters with franchising, like they have the offhand comment about franchising in the first movie, and combine that with the sort of confession chair of reality TV, and they've sort of pan away from the action to go talk to one person individually about what's going on, but it's obviously like after the fact that they're talking to them.
My favorite thing about that is that
it's really fun.
Even with like you're sitting down and you're confessing to the TV screen and everything that what happened is that you can change the entire story of what's going on in that moment.
Well, yeah. So the other reason I love running Inspectors is it's kind of cheating for a GM. You're not really running the game or making up the story so much as you are just refereeing the players. And trying to decide what sort of dice roll they have to make for the things they're trying to do. The bulk of the story is actually told by the players.
Mm.
And so, yeah, what like you may have an idea of kind of how you wanted the plot to go. That's not going to happen. Just accept it and see what sort of amazing hilarity you end up with, because it's almost always funny. Like, well, actually, all of my games are funny. I've never seen a serious game of Inspectors in my life. Um,
I can't
like,
imagine that ever being like.
no, at least not with my friends. We're a bunch of
No, fuck
goofballs.
no.
There was one game, you weren't in this one, this was before you moved up here, but playing Inspectors with Christine is like the most magically hysterical thing ever, which you wouldn't expect, because she doesn't think very highly of her sense of humor. But we ended up, through a number of twists and turns and various silly machinations, they ended up shooting down a giant fuzzy bunny that was flying through the sky over the zoo. But later on, hours later, they came down off of their unintended drug high that they'd been gassed with earlier in the story, and realized that what they had shot down was actually a passenger jet, and the corpse of the bunny that they had chopped up and fed to the lions was actually the passengers. And like that whole thing happened because they like genuinely thought that they were in fact shooting down a giant pink extraterrestrial bunny, until like they did the whole scene. It was very cool. They were like, yeah, death to the bunny, which was already silly enough. And then Christine jumps into the confessional chair and is all like, yeah, it was really a shock when we woke up the next morning after that weird gas had worn off and realized it wasn't a bunny but a passenger jet. And then just hopped out. We all just were like, oh my god. It's kind of the best thing ever.
One of my favorite things. One of my favorite games about the one game that I played with what was it, Lena and Jim?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. It's the fact that Jim had no idea what an autoclave was.
Oh god, that's right.
Yeah. Autoclave, by the way, if no one actually knows, which I thought he would, considering how intelligent he is.
He's a really, really smart
he
guy.
He knows like the most like
and he tends
random
to
stuff.
Like,
I know this. And
he's dated a lot of girls with tattoos.
Yeah.
But
he doesn't know what an autoclave is. And an autoclave is something in like a microbiology or a biology lab.
Or in a tattoo parlor.
Right, exactly. That
cleans equipment.
Yeah, exactly. It cleans equipment. What you do is like test tubes, whatever you throw it in there. It's like a cooking clave that people put pots into, like clay pots and whatever to cook and shit. It's kind of the same basis. But yeah, he had no fucking clue what that was. It's like, yeah, it's an autoclave, and it turns into this weird monster, and it gets consumed by the spirit. And he's like, the fuck is an autoclave? And I had to explain it to him for like 10 minutes.
You should have totally let him on.
For like a little bit.
You should have totally let him on and convinced him that it was some sort of weird, made in the 70s musical instrument.
Yeah, considering how oblivious he is about something, I thought about convincing him it was a car.
Yeah.
And there was a car just sitting in the
It's a German car.
Like, yeah, whatever, it's a car. It's like,
yeah.
It's a four-wheeler, it's great.
Yeah. It's actually a boat.
It's big guys of fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you're running the new 5th ed. You're doing the module.
Yeah,
right?
I am. I'm running Tyranny of Dragons, which has been sort of interesting because. And
well, don't give it away because I'm playing.
I'm not telling you anything that you haven't already heard. Just from like Jim and I talking about it near you guys, because so he's playing and our roommate's playing, and then 3 of our dear friends are also playing. So I've got 5 players.
So for a first run, that's a good party.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't want. I didn't want anything bigger.
Was it you told me earlier about 11 person party?
Yeah, my first D&D group had at one point, like, it varied occasionally because I was with them for a number of years, but at one point in time we had 11 players.
That's so fucked up.
Because the GM was insane.
That is way too many people.
He was one of those people who wanted a game with everybody, and he already had 2 games per week, so he couldn't really be like, well, I'll just add a 3rd game. Like, no, he just kept adding people to games. Which I suppose I should be happy about that generosity a little bit, because I wouldn't have been allowed in the game otherwise. Yeah.
This crazy emo thing going on where I keep ruining my hair. Anyway, go ahead.
I
keep like pushing my hair back. I'm like,
yeah, there's nothing like being on camera and being able to see yourself when you're on camera to be
honestly,
all like,
honestly, like click off it so I can see it.
I can't.
Well, like, can you not click something else?
Okay, I get what you mean. There you go.
Hey,
all right.
There we go. All right.
Cool. Yeah. Sorry.
Damn it, I'm so funny.
He gets all self-conscious.
Right?
And shit.
A little bit. Like, I've got this like crazy pimple going on right here that's like sticking out.
I
And like,
can't even see it.
right? But the
But
fact
you
that I
know
can feel
it's
it, I
there.
know it's there. So I think
Yeah.
like people in Colorado are calling me up, going like, "What the fuck is that thing? Get that blemish out of there!"
Except we're not streaming, we're just recording right
Yeah,
now.
and no one can see it. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, we are putting it up on the interwebs. Hi, interwebs.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so you're running the module,
But
and
you know, it's our luck. So like 2 people will watch it ever.
oh fuck it, who cares?
One of them will be your mom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It should be the first person we should tell. It's like, I got a video up, popular internet. Thanks, mom.
It'll be your mom and Nick. No one I know will watch it.
No, Nick won't watch it. I'll tell him about it. Nick will be like, "Fuck you."
Alright, maybe Aiden will watch it.
There you go. Yeah, Aiden will just make fun of it constantly.
Well, yeah. Like you should.
So, what's okay? Can you give away any of the premise of the module without giving away?
It's
anything?
about dragons.
Like,
it's called Tyranny of Dragons.
Did we just talk about that?
Did
you just talk about that?
I just said what the title of it
Fuck,
was.
I'm sorry.
But yeah.
No,
like there's.
I was more concerned with my hair. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's why I clicked off. Anyway,
I'm trying to think what I can tell you that isn't giving it away any of the plot.
Is it about Tiamat?
Yes.
Oh, I wouldn't have been. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Well, it's D&D, it's Faerun, so of course it's about Tiamat. Because I mean, who the fuck else would it be about?
Right. Like it caps at like what 15th level?
Yeah.
Starts at 1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a really, really long module. I will be impressed if we actually make it all the way through before something happens.
All right. Also, I have to. I've got I've got the player's handbook in my hand.
Shiny.
The fucking cover art is amazing.
Well,
like,
Pete doesn't think so.
Are you kidding me? This is awesome.
Pete hates the art in that.
Are you kidding me? Okay,
I think he thought the cover was okay.
The cover, I really dig the cover. It's really good.
Our friend Pete, who's also one of my gamers, is a professional fantasy illustrator and has done illustrations for D&D before. And he keeps
so no offense whoever did it.
Grousing.
But like
he's kind of cranky.
He's a little cranky, and Pete is an incredibly talented artist.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
But I get some of the gripes. Like was it you I was talking to about the halflings?
I don't
about
think so.
The fact that they look like fucking kind of retarded. I gotta give it up
they
though.
Look kind of derpy.
I gotta give it up to the Marshawn Lynch looking warrior though.
Yeah, he's pretty
Holy
rad.
shit, he looks
also,
rad.
go to the human listing.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, the race listing for humans. I have to say, like, as much as you might grouse about the some of the art in this.
I gotta cut in for a second. The picture for the cleric, by the way. The fucking that's the most badass thing because I always played like dwarf clerics because fucking clerics and
he's
dwarves.
a really tall dwarf.
Holy shit! And I'm so happy with the art there.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're saying.
So
what was I looking there?
One of the things I really liked about this edition of 5th Ed is there's a lot of diversity in it, and I know some people are going to be like, oh, it's just diversity for diversity's sake, but you know what? As someone who's a female and a lifetime, lifetime nerd, it is really nice to see the base generic human listing is a black woman.
Is that it?
That's rad.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah. And like, there's a ton of like black characters, female characters in places where in previous editions you wouldn't see female characters. I think that's very cool, and it's a little thing, but it goes such a long way.
Sorry, I just got to the Dragonborn.
Yeah, they're so goofy looking.
So the whole idea about bringing in Dragonborn and tieflings,
tieflings and drow.
Is it tieflings or tieflings? Anyway,
I've heard it either way.
The Dragonborn and the tieflings, whatever, but the drow.
Yeah.
Anybody who is a D&D player at heart knows that the fact that Drow's coming in as an actual player character, being
they
like
came
canon.
in last edition.
Well, the fact that now they're actually pushing it in like hardcore canon kind of thing.
Well, no, it was in 4th edition.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah, they were in the PHB in 4th edition.
I didn't play much 4th.
Like, you could play a Drow as a player character in 3rd and 3.5. You just had to have a different splat book.
Yeah, and my favorite thing about the bards so far. That's the fact they're trying so fucking hard to make the bards look badass.
She does look really rad.
They're not. They're still
Actually, they're a great 5th character. Like, you wouldn't want them as your core player base, but if you've got enough players where all like, cleric, fighter, magic user, thief are sort of covered, a bard's not a terrible 5th character.
I still really want to play a game where everyone's playing a bard.
Yeah, have the rock band.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, touring rock band. That was our friend Leanna's idea. She's also in our gaming group.
That sounds like so much
It sounds like a ton of fun. I told her if she ever does that I am so in.
But to pull back on our previous point, like I like a lot of the art in the book,
Yeah,
and some of the art,
I
yeah,
think
kind
it's
of
really
disappoints.
nice. Yeah, some
Uh,
of it's a little,
the druid
but
standing with the
with the tiger.
fucking Christ. But I'm liking it so far. It's I don't know. There's a couple of classes that pretty much make the entire game broken if you play them a certain way.
Well, the weird thing
And
about
in
it
my
is,
opinion,
like, I've
oh
read
god,
through most of the classes, and all of them, with the exception of Bard, which you read through and you're just like,
because
really?
why wouldn't they be?
All of the other classes, when you read through them alone by themselves, they seem so broken.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Especially when, like, you're used to, like, 335, that type of thing. It's just like, Jesus Christ! But if you read all the classes, they're all kind of broken, and it's, I think, partially has to do with the fact that everything, like, they tried to streamline combat to make it way faster, and everything does huge amounts of damage by comparison to 3 and 3.5. That sort of plateaus pretty quickly as you level up, but at first level you're just like, oh my fucking god!
Well, and that being said, like we played the module, and we went ahead and played the pre-made classes, and I played the life domain cleric.
Yeah, well, because that
And
was the what they built the cleric with.
holy fuck!
Yeah,
If anyone is playing one life domain cleric in any kind of party, no one should die.
yeah, well, at least for the first 5 levels, which is
Yeah.
what we have experience with.
Holy fuck! Like
Yeah,
Jesus Christ! And after finally reading through the paladin classes and the other stuff, like oh my god!
yeah, they're pretty burly.
Just
Although
the tree striking alone.
I want to say something really quick. The other thing, so we played the starter set module just as sort of a get a feel for fifth ed, see
Mm.
if we liked it, that type of thing. And it is geared very, very much towards people who are new at the game, which is great. Like, I gave a copy to my 11-year-old cousin, and he absolutely is loving it. He immediately went out and bought the 3 core rule books, and he's having a blasty blast.
Speaking of that, it's so weird being on the opposite end of that because like I
Being
grew
the
up,
uncle.
well, being the uncle and like showing somebody that who the family is like not been
Yeah.
playing that as a family. You
Yeah.
know? And it's so weird being the outside of that. It's like one person's interested and the rest of the family is like, what the fuck are you talking about? Somebody
Yeah.
Satan? Blah, blah, blah.
Well,
And,
yeah, that was the fun part of that.
like that's an
was,
actual
like,
thing that still happens today. Like people
that
trying
was
to
a
play.
thing. I went over and I was hanging out with my aunt, and she mentioned that my boy cousin was kind of interested in D&D and had been talking about it, and she wanted to talk to me about it because she was pretty sure I knew at least a little something about it. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, well, a little bit.
a bit. And so she basically wanted me to assuage her fears that it was satanic. My aunt is Mormon, for the record. She's a very sweet woman, very
awesome woman.
liberal Mormon.
Very
Like,
knowledgeable on stuff like this.
yeah,
at
it's
all.
just not in her
Yeah.
wheelhouse. No one in my family really games like this.
And yeah, and at the same
Um,
time, it's just like I still have to kind of remind myself that yeah, it's 2015, but that shit still exists.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
just
yeah.
like,
Well, and it really
I'm
does
a-
depend on exposure. Like,
Wow,
I grew up with a very nerdy family, but not that way.
Yeah.
Like, differently nerdy family. They were not. My family's not really gamers. And I grew up playing video games mostly because I'm from the generation where that's what you do. Like, I was 5, I think, when the Nintendo Entertainment System came out. And like all of the kids in my age group just had to have one, you know. And my sister and I begged and pleaded and whined to convince our dad to let us have one like a year later, because our babysitter had one.
Mhm.
And we'd been playing Mario and Duck Hunt, and it was the best thing ever. Oh my god, I don't want anything else for Christmas for like ever. Just
Was
give
it
me this thing.
the combination cartridge?
Yes, it was. Yeah, with the light gun and all that.
Hell yeah.
But like, I didn't start actually playing tabletop, pencil and paper RPGs until I was 21.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, so I dated a couple of guys when I was a teenager who were really into gaming, and they kept trying to get me into it a little bit, which is cool, but they couldn't really deal with outside the box thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they hadn't quite gotten to that point in their own storytelling abilities where they could sort of roll with it and go, okay, all right, well, this happens, So, like, I kept having one guy try to, and I had a problem where I was used to playing video games, and I played text adventures up the wazoo. Like, I played Zork and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and all that type of stuff. I had a couple of weird ass random like Agatha Christie mystery text adventures that I used to play on my
Oh
Commodore.
my
Like it was
god.
amazeballs, right?
Uh,
Um, and I loved that shit. But the thing about it is, if you've ever played any of those, there's a syntax to it. Like you have to use exactly the right words and exactly the right combination, or you can't do anything. And so I was used to that idea of like, take bread, eat bread.
so like muds, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Um,
And so these guys were trying to get me into gaming, and I'm like, okay, what's the syntax? What are the rules? Like, what can I do? And they're like, well, you can do anything. I'm like, all right. And so like one of my friends would give me a scenario, and he'd just tell me like, you have a time stop ability, and you're doing this thing, and then you get surrounded by a mob of like angry, mean guys in leather jackets and knives. What do you do? And I'm just like, I freeze time, steal their leather jackets and knives, and walk away. Duh.
damn right.
And he's like, you can't do that. I'm like, you said I could do anything. Well, okay, you can't do that. Your time stop has a limited amount of time you can use it. I'm like, all right, so I'll time stop, steal a jacket and a knife, wait for it to come back, time stop again, steal a jacket. Like, I'll just keep doing that until I've stolen all their shit, and then I'll time stop again and leave. You can't do that. Why not?
Yeah, you're the kind of person that made rules that we have to deal with today happen.
Yeah, I know. I'm that asshole.
Yeah.
Because I was just constantly like, well, why not? You didn't say I couldn't do that. You said I could do anything. If I were in that situation with the parameters you gave me, I would do this.
So I actually started playing muds like after they became like kind of not popular anymore. So like Quake came out.
So how old
and,
were you?
Oh, so I was like 17, 18. It was 17, 18 when I started playing my first mud, which was Realms of Despair, by the way.
Jesus, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
So
still playing muds at that point in time, but that was the tail end of my mud playing.
yeah. So I got introduced to him like after like a slew of games had come out, and I've been playing console games and NES, SNES at the time.
Yep.
A lot of other shit, and then my friend Doug found Realms of Despair, a mud game.
Oh,
like,
Realms of Despair.
Yeah, he was just like, I got a text-based game I got to show you this. So I was like, right on, cool, and got to show it.
Yeah.
And from there we found other text-based games. Like one of the first graphics games that was actually like kind of like a mud, which was some sort of like King Arthur, like some sort of King Arthur's Quest or something like that. But we never got past like the first actual scenario because King Arthur is like walking up to Guinevere, and like there's a description of what's going on, even though you can kind of see it in the horrible graphics. And then it was just like, what do you do? And the entire time we were trying to fuck Guinevere, which we could never do. And we got like really, really detailed in what we were typing out. Just like, take Guinevere's dress off.
Because you were teenage boys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Put a cactus in her ass. That kind of thing. And this went on for like hours and hours and hours. And just like whatever. Just like take her in the shower and then punch her in the face. Never got beyond that. Because we were just trying to break the game and actually make it do something. It never happened. And it was just like, nah, whatever. Realms of Despair, on the other hand, I played the shit out of.
Yeah.
I played this so much. I think I maxed like 4 or 5 characters.
Yeah, there's that one. Did you ever play a game called Three Kingdoms?
No.
Oh.
I did play Romancing the Three Kingdoms, which is a second game, which is impossible.
I don't. Yeah. So I think it was called.
Three Kingdoms?
No, just Three Kingdoms. I think it was called Three Kingdoms. Was a game that a friend of mine, when I was like 15 or 16, turned me on to. It was so the Three Kingdoms represented order, magic, and chaos, I think, or something like that. Anyway, I spent most of my time in chaos, and it was hilarious. Like, chaos was the world where pop culture references went to die. So you could run up in chaos, and the cardinal directions made no sense. It was one of those where if you went west, you ended up in a room, and if you went east again, you ended up in a completely different room than the one you started in.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That type of thing. Yeah. And so there were all sorts of weird-ass nooks and crannies in there that you could go into. And there was, let's see, I deeply remember you could kill the Smurfs. You could fight Care Bears.
Okay.
Let's see, there was I think it's Thomas Covenant, the series of books.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there was an area dedicated to that. You could actually sort of go through the story as Thomas Covenant. There was so much weird shit in that area. It was great. Wow. There was a grocery store where you could go and kill cereal mascots. So you could be a serial killer. Yeah. It was amazing. And I used to play the crap out of that. And then I played
This kind of sounds like it should have been a part of like Kingdom of Loathing or something.
I know it to me it's sort of like an ideological predecessor to Kingdom of
Yeah,
Loathing.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a magical
I
thing.
never played that much Kingdom of Loathing.
Oh, I played a ton of it. I
I
actually used
did.
to have a T-shirt that
Played
was
a
the
little bit.
saber-tooth lime.
Really?
Yeah, and then a friend of mine actually had the lime tattooed on his back. But it was like a really shitty
Wow.
like kitchen your friend does it tattoo, and
That
it
is
it started fading out
fucking
immediately.
dedication. Holy crap.
Yeah,
Well,
that.
speaking of kind of pulling back a little bit, so you never played Romance of the Three Kingdoms?
I don't think so.
So is okay. It probably got put out on different consoles, whatever. The one I played was on Sega Genesis, and it is literally one of the hardest games ever because you have no idea what you're doing. Did you ever play Lord of the Realms on PC?
No.
Okay, or Lords of the Realm, which I which it was
Some
called.
crap.
Anyway, but it's like this giant thing of like you have armies, you have political standings. It was kind of like people were trying to make like different variations of civilization
Right.
through different various things.
Okay.
And like all of these games were based off of. I have no idea which one came out first, but I'm gonna say it came off of based from Romance of the Three Kingdoms, because Romance of the Three Kingdoms you have absolutely no fucking clue what you're doing. It's like all these Chinese kingdoms trying to take over each other,
Oh.
but there's wheat and there's angry princes, and then there's fights going on that you have no idea how to control, and then the only thing you can think to do, which is the base thing that you can do, is marry somebody's daughter, and then everybody's happy again. And that's what we did. So like, every time we tried to play, we're just like, fuck it, I'm just going to marry everybody's daughter, everybody's going to love me, I'm going to beat the game. Married everybody's daughter, we died. It was a fucking horribly hard game. Probably a great game. If I were to go back and actually pay
I was gonna
attention.
say, I bet if you went back now as an adult with a more like analytical
Right,
mind,
yeah.
you'd probably rock
I
it.
could
But
probably
as
figure it
like
out.
a kid or a teenager, you're just like,
No
hard.
clue. No clue whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's just like, global, whatever, I don't fucking care. Marry your daughter, does that help? No, dead, great. Fuck this game. I'm playing Super Metroid.
Super Metroid. One of my
Speaking of
favorites.
Super Metroid, we
Yeah,
spent all week
we just
watching
finished up watching
AGDQ,
AGDQ 2015,
which is Awesome Games Done Quick. Great,
Yes.
fucking amazing thing.
If you're into speedrunning,
So the big thing with AGDQ every year is the Metroid race.
yeah, the Super Metroid
Well,
race,
every
yeah.
year I would just say kind of started with the previous year or the year before. No, it was the previous year with the four-way race.
Yeah.
Last year? Yeah, it was
I think it
everybody.
was.
I think it was last year. 2000.
I don't know if it was AGDQ last year or if it was two
Anyway.
SGDQs ago.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Well, it all started with Zeus doing this 100% run, and Zeus.
Well, no, it was
is
an any percent run. Is the race.
I think it's 100% run.
No, it was any percent before they found the shit that completely
Yeah,
broke
well,
it and pushed
doesn't
down.
matter.
I think it was any percent.
Zeus did a run of Super Metroid. Center Stone One was comedy, and it was highly popular, hugely popular. It was a really great run. The following year, they did a four-way race between Zeus and three other guys, and I'm sorry, I can't remember their names right now. All I can remember is Zeus
Krauser,
because,
Garrison, and Ivan.
bam, there we go.
Hi.
Yeah, right. See, there we
Yeah.
go. I only follow Zeus because I have such a boy crush on him. Dude, seriously, it's one of my favorite games when I was a kid, and he runs it so perfectly, or at least entertainingly. So one of the big things this year was a two-way 100% race between those two guys. Again, names escape me. But had the biggest bidding war between letting the aliens live and letting the
Yeah, it was
the
over
aliens
200,000.
Yeah, it was like 250,000, I think, total.
I don't think it got quite that high, but
It
it's
got
close.
huge.
Yeah, it was pretty big.
Anyway, so this giant bidding war, everyone's leading up to
Yeah,
it. Going,
okay,
we can't wait for this race.
for reference for
Everything's
people who
great.
don't know what we're talking about, in
Oh.
Super Metroid, towards the end when you're trying to escape the planet, there are these animals locked in a room, and you can go down and shoot a wall out and save them. They can get out of the planet before it explodes.
Now, yay, saving animals.
Yay!
But at the same
But
time,
if you're doing a speed run, it costs you a fairly significant, like I think it's like
just like 20 seconds.
20 something seconds,
Something like that.
which doesn't seem like much, but in a speed run, every second counts. Hell,
Yeah.
frames count.
But
So usually, kill the animals wins.
yeah, this year, saving the animals win. But that's not what I was talking about.
Okay.
Specifically, what I was talking about was the hype of the race itself.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was really, really hyped for the race. Like,
Yeah.
between two people, 100%, really, really great, gonna be fun, and gets about, what was it, like 20 minutes in? 30
Yeah,
minutes
about
in?
that.
Yeah, when this
Poor guy. Poor
fighting
Epic.
Phantoon, and he got the most horrible luck.
Yeah.
And I think they called the Sunrise Surprise, like 160 points damage, like
Something
straight
like
up.
that.
So it's like a no save run, right?
Yeah,
Like
the
they
no
skip the save
saving
points. This dude dies.
Nothing. Yeah,
So
he
it's
just
two-way
dies.
race, right?
And
This guy dies.
he's just
His
out.
run's over. He can't catch up. There's no reason. So it turns into
Poor guy.
let's just watch this guy run it, I guess.
Yeah.
And then.
But he did, actually, it was kind of exciting though when you got up to save kill the animals part, because Kill had been winning, and then someone dropped like a 10 grand anonymous donation that just said like get wrecked, save the animals.
I still think it was Notch.
I don't know. I don't know. I think there are other people capable of doing that.
Oh, true, but like no.
Notch usually signs his post in my or donations.
Anyway,
in my experience.
Anyway, like if you have no idea what we're talking about, it's fucking awesome.
It was really cool. If you like that sort of thing. Yeah. Like, I realize for some people, like, watching video game speedruns makes your eyes glaze over, and you're just like, I got better shit to do with my time. And that's fair. Okay. It's not for everybody, but I really enjoy the level of technical skill. For me, it's kind of like watching a really good chess master, like, play the game. It's just sort of interesting. The level,
Bobby Fischer from
yeah,
from Metroid.
Yeah, Zost is the Bobby Fischer of Super Metroid. Great. Yeah, it's a level of skill and dedication to a game that is really awe-inspiring. And they make a buttload of money for charity when they do these marathons.
Who's the actor that played Morpheus in The Matrix?
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, I get like Lawrence Fishburne sitting behind the couch, like, trying to teach them how to play it. He's actually a drug addict.
Take the red pill or the blue pill?
Well, from Searching for Bobby Fischer, he's like trying to teach them how to play it. Everything yelling at them. I'm a drug addict. There's a British guy coming in telling me what actually you do. Anyway.
You know, that's an interesting tie-in with The Matrix.
Yeah, well...
Because he gives Neo pills, and that makes his life all crazy, weird, and interesting.
Wait, so we're...
Yeah.
So the entirety of The Matrix was about a chess game?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a horrible chess game.
Yeah, well, no, the first Matrix would have been a great chess game.
So the first part of that chess game was great.
Yeah.
The last two were...
The last two...
horrible.
Yeah, it's a 3-part chess match, and the last two are crappy. But the first one was brilliant.
And then the MMO of the chess game was just fucking bad.
Well, yeah. MMO... No.
So fucking terrible.
MMO versions
I'm sorry if you liked it.
A lot of things are terrible. Like, unless... If it's a new IP that you're making, especially for an MMO, that's one thing.
No.
If you're trying to MMO something that already exists...
Anarchy Online. Anyway.
I liked Anarchy Online.
No, like I'm saying, like they were trying to do a lot of things, and most of it was
Well, okay, Funcom has a problem where they have a lot of great ideas, and they try to do all of them, and they don't really succeed super well.
So bad.
Like, I love that game, but it's crazy pants and had a lot of problems, and the same goes for Secret World, which was another Funcom game. Which was really cool and had some really, really great ideas.
I tried really hard.
It was very revolutionary, and I liked a lot of their ideas.
Honestly,
but I still just got really, really tired of playing the game.
I get the feeling. I'm sorry, we're jumping topics like left and right.
We do that.
But
welcome to our conversation.
Secret World, like, god damn it, I get the feeling that Secret World was specifically built for people that have been playing MMOs since they were like 10.
Yeah, and want
knew
something
what to do
new.
On there. Like,
well, like even I've been playing MMOs for a really long time, but even then, like. Secret World had so many things that were completely new and different from an MMO standpoint.
Incredibly steep learning
like doing,
curve.
yeah, it was.
Kind of like EVE Online.
Well, it wasn't quite an EVE Online learning curve. It wasn't the precipice that goes over to an overhang cliff and people are falling off and screaming.
This isn't us shitting on people that like.
No, we actually have a number of friends who have EVE Online. Yeah. We're just not smart enough to play it.
My favorite bitch about EVE Online is
or as one
I'm
of
not
our
an
friends,
Excel genius, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like, that's not stop. No,
yeah,
it's
a couple
different.
of our friends actually
I don't get it either, but that's not the bitch.
Yeah.
Calm down.
A couple of our friends actually refer to EVE Online as spaceships and spreadsheets.
Yep.
Did
you see the latest? Not the latest, but it didn't recently come out. They had this really really cool ad come out for EVE Online, which actually had players voice recordings of it.
Oh god, was it a lot of swearing?
No, it was some, but it was actually really inspiring. Like it sounded like really like the guys talking like really
Like
coordinated. And doing their thing.
strategizing.
Yeah, and it was really
Okay.
fucking inspiring. Like, man, I wish I had like 40 people I knew that played that game so I could play with them, but I don't.
Yeah, we only have like 4 people who know
Like
to play that game.
That's about it. And not enough for me. But,
Yeah.
which is why I like dumb first person MMOs like
Destiny.
Yeah.
We love Destiny and we hate Destiny. Like pretty much everyone who
Are
plays
we
that
gonna start
game.
reading about this game? Really? We're gonna do this? All right.
We can.
Yeah, we can.
We're talking about everything
So
else we do that's nerdy.
we were in the beta, we were in the alpha, the beta, and everything, and we're so fucking excited about this game.
Yeah.
And
Well,
we started
you
playing
especially were super excited.
I'm
You're
a
a Bungie
I'm a first
fanboy.
person. Well, I'm a Bungie fanboy. I played all the Halos. I played a lot of Halo tournaments, blah blah blah. And I'm a first person shooter guy. And I was so fucking excited finally for like a first person shooter that MMO that I actually enjoyed, and it wasn't like Guns Online or whatever the fuck it was called.
Well, there's a couple of them now. There's like Defiance and
Yeah.
things like that. I've heard good things about Defiance.
I haven't actually tried it, but I get the feeling that I probably will like it, which is why I'm not okay with it.
Because you need more games to occupy all of your free time?
So many games.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, yeah, there's so many reviews of Destiny of how awesome it could be and what it did wrong. And I'm not going to echo those because it's fucking...
It's already
all
been
over the place.
said.
It really is.
All you
It's
have to
just
do
that-
is go Google it.
It's
like,
just that
it's not hard to find.
my only response to the whole thing of Destiny is that I echo it's the worst game I can't stop playing.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is.
It's okay. I will say I'm gonna do a little tiny mini review. I'm not gonna go into the crap that I don't like about it because that would take forever. But it's gorgeous. But more importantly, I really love the controls. They're super tight and good. Like I normally suck at first-person shooters. I find them very frustrating. I have a terrible time aiming. And when I started playing Destiny, I really sucked. But I've actually gotten progressively better, and part of it is because the controls feel really good. And we're playing it on the PS4. I played the beta on the PS3, and the difference in control schemes between the two is staggering. Like, on the PS3, I was kind of like, well, yeah, whatever, it's first-person shooter, great. I switched over to the PS4 and played with the new, DualShock 4 controllers and all that, and they are so good, and the controls are just so tight and nice and clean feeling, and it's really great. And then we have a buttload of friends who also hate this game and can't stop playing it. So
yeah.
we've got a large social aspect to it as well, and it's actually kind of the only way I see some of the people I get to game with.
One of the big arguments I've seen about the game is it's basically during the Crucible, during the PvP elements of the game, is the fact that there's an amazing amount of auto aim.
I have not experienced that.
Wow, I'm kind of like, yeah. Cause
maybe it's because I'm so terrible at aiming in the first place that I just completely counteracted.
There have been multiple times where I'm about to take a headshot and somebody gets in the way and my reticle will
follows.
Immediately track.
That's weird.
Yeah, that happens a lot. It's fucking annoying. I wish you could turn it off. But that's been one of the main arguments that I've seen of people that, MLG players from Halo that bitch about that constantly. And my only response is the fact that, yes, it's one of the worst I've ever seen in PvP, but it's not the only one I've seen doing it. I've seen, I've been playing Call of Duty, I've been playing Halo since it started. The whole fucking auto tracking thing has been a thing for a long time now, and it's
it would be
Destiny
nice if there was a way to turn it off, and I think having it in
Destiny
PvP is a little shitty.
Yeah, Destiny is one of the worst ones I've seen that has it, because holy shit, my reticle will track onto somebody that's like on the bare edge of my scope, and it's just and tries to pull away from a headshot. It pisses me off. But it's a thing that's been happening for a long time. Yeah, bitch about it because it's one of the worst ones, but don't bitch about it because you think it's the only one.
Yeah.
It's not.
My
happens
biggest
in a lot of fucking games.
Yeah, my biggest and only gripe I will make about Destiny, and the thing that really just chaps my hide, is the story, or lack thereof.
There you go.
Like, that was the thing. I was really excited about the story and exploring the whole solar system and doing all this stuff. And I mean, they do have a 10-year plan. They are putting out more stuff as they go along, but so far we're through the main release and the first DLC, and they haven't really added anything. Like, they've put new missions, but they're in the same place as you've always been. I believe they're supposed to actually add doable missions in the Reef next DLC, but
I don't know if it's the next DLC.
Yeah.
But like the next one is House of Wolves.
Yeah.
I think.
I think so.
And the House of Wolves is supposed to be the Queen's.
Yeah, which I think is why they're going to be
Guard,
adding the Reef in with that.
I don't think it's going to be the big one that everyone's expecting, but
Well,
with the
yeah.
leaked content that one of the last press conferences about the comet in September, that's apparently supposed to be a big one.
That one's supposed to be a big one.
There's something called the Vault of God. There's something.
No, the Forge of God.
That was the Forge. Yeah, sorry, Forge of God, which I'm assuming is just going to be another Vex Vault, which I'm okay with. And a lot of other shit. That's supposed to be like the first actual big content release.
Yeah.
Like House of Wolves are going to be the same thing that we had with Dark Below, which is going to add another faction person who's going to be bleeding out of the eyes of, I don't know, Fallen are going to be falling out of their and I'm captains. And holding a sphere, which is going to be like a tiny
somebody's
catch.
Just going to have like shield glow just coming out of their eyes, like
pretty much, yeah. And
shoot the eyes faster.
It's going to be holding like a tiny servitor. And like,
oh, dude, I would love a pet servitor.
Dude, if they add pets.
Yeah. Well, I'm still waiting for them to put in those supposedly supposed to be in the game already, fucking like ship, cosmetic upgrades and like paint and shit. So you can make your ships look like what the fuck you want, or like your fucking speeder bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where the fuck did that go?
Well.
Anyway.
Nobody has a definitive answer, and there hasn't been a definitive answer. Like all the shit that was supposed to come out.
Yeah.
As opposed to like when the first release came out, and everyone's just like, "What happened?" And everyone's big argument's like, "Activision." I'm like, it may have been. I don't know.
Yeah.
But a lot of creative writers kind of like bailed out.
Yeah.
And I think they had their name attached to shit and just took it with them.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Anyway, let's stop bitching about Destiny.
Anyway, I love that game.
For all that we bitch about it, we're still playing it.
I'm still gonna play the game.
Weirdly enough.
I
Anyway.
actually to finish up, I almost broke myself on that game.
Yeah.
Like I almost quit.
Well, yeah, you did actually basically quit until the DLC.
Yeah, and it was honestly all of Vault of Glass's fault.
I hate that raid.
So, and again, if you haven't played the game, this is gonna mean nothing to you except for names and whatever I'm talking about.
It's just the end game raid essentially from the first part of the release.
Before I think a fix came out for it. Before the fix came out for it, like Aphion's fight at the very end was one of the glitchiest things I've ever experienced in my entire life. And I used to throw my controller during the old SNES games.
It was a much lighter controller, less likely to break your TV.
And it was actually kind of durable. Yeah. I'm not throwing them now because they're fucking like $80 or whatever they are.
They're heavier and likely to break your monitor.
But I've never come as close to throwing my controller as I did during a hard mode Vault of Glass Aphion's fight.
Yeah.
And
I had literally
almost quit the game.
I basically had one evening where we tried to do Aphion, just the Aphion fight, for like an hour and a half. And I got so frustrated, I had a massive temper tantrum after I logged out and put my controller down. I was good. I was a grown-up about it, at least a little bit. But yeah, I had a major conniption fit. I was like, okay, this is not acceptable. I'm not playing that fight anymore.
And it wasn't because we had no idea what we were doing. It was the fact that we had shit happen where, like, people would be teleported outside of the spawn shield to Mars or Venus and would die because they're outside the shield, and that would happen constantly.
Yeah.
Or we'd be in the middle with the relic shield going on, and everybody would die inside because somehow the damage like filtered through, or something like that. Would just constantly happen, and for like an hour and a half. Yeah,
it just kept happening over and over and over again.
So close.
It was really frustrating.
Yeah.
So
I took about like a month.
I've still actually technically never finished that raid. I finished the Crota raid, but I haven't finished Atheon.
We may have.
We cheated. We're cheating cheaters that cheat. We cheated. That's not even cheese. We cheated.
I don't even feel good about that.
Yeah, well, I don't care. I wanted to finish it at least once, because doing it legitimately, I suck enough that I was just going to get frustrated.
Yeah. Well,
actually, I was getting frustrated.
Well, the fix is coming out too soon. So
So we can't do it anymore. We just did it once to see if we could, and we did.
Keep going. I'm going to refill.
Okay. Refill.
Oh, okay.
Refill.
You're back.
Tastiness. We're bitching a lot about Destiny, huh?
Yeah. Change game topics.
Yeah. I'll see what I can do. Although realistically, like, I'm not sure how interesting anyone is going to find us sitting around and just bullshitting about the games we like to play is. I mean, I know that some people are really into that, but it's usually you can do that when you have like a little bit of star power, like if you're Rooster Teeth, you know, you've got the patch or whatever. Um, like aside from our, you know, absolute personal friends, no one on the internet knows who the fuck we are. So, uh, I'm just, you know, saying confidence. I don't have it. We are going to put this up on YouTube and hope that it doesn't get only 2 views ever. Anyway, oh god, I'm trying to think what other gaming stuff I want to talk about. Like, we talked about HDQ, 5th Ed, Destino. Ooh, Vino.
There you
Hmm.
go. Okay.
I have not come up with a new gaming topic. I was just trying to go over
Oh, thank God.
stuff and
I was actually just thinking about.
also, we could talk about other things that aren't gaming.
Oh,
Because, you know, you can just
right.
be funny and actually entertain people after they had to go through that slog of us being boring.
So Obama came out with. I have no idea. I don't pay attention to that shit.
Start reading your fucking Tumblr posts.
Alright, good point.
Hmm.
Yeah, if you're looking for any like political updates about this, I don't fucking care.
No. I care about politics, but I'm not talking about it with people on the internet.
Right, exactly. Man, I don't know. I was just about to say, like, man, I gotta go to the bathroom, but in a more, I got shit.
You gotta go take a shit?
I'll do it later. I'm good. Actually, one quick update.
Classy.
Right. One quick update about games and everything. The latest Dragon Age.
Oh yeah.
I was talking about it with
Bueno.
our friend Raven, who fucking loves that game.
It's fantastic.
Holy shit, is that game good?
Yeah, it's actually, I think it's my favorite of the series.
Yeah.
Which
and the first one was really good.
Yeah, the first one was really
despite
a
being
lot
a
of fun.
giant glitchy bug of, oh my
Yeah,
god.
but it was fun. I
so
really
much fun.
enjoyed the first one, which made the second one. So I never played the second one because everyone I know who also loved the first one bought the second one, sat down to play it, played it, and could say nothing but bad things about it. And so I was kind of broke at the time. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna save myself the scratch right now. He played it.
I played it.
Our roommate played it. I had to listen to our roommate bitching about it when he was playing it. Well, we weren't even roommates at the time.
Yeah.
We were just friends.
The storyline is giant bags of short, shitty, and trying its best to get you to the end to warm up to this game. That's literally the second game. Which
is weird because like, how many years ago was the second game?
Math.
It was a while.
Like,
I'd actually kind of forgotten about the series until, like, the big announcements for Inquisition. Actually, yeah. I wasn't even paying attention to the announcements for Inquisition because I was like, man, whatever. Blah.
Yeah.
And then, like, 2 days before the game dropped, you were like, I think I'm going to pre-order the digital edition. I want to give it a shot. Yeah. And I'm like, well, if you're going to play it, I want to play too.
Oh, yeah.
So we both got our own copy.
Man, it's good.
It's really, really good.
Damn, there's so much to do.
Yeah. It actually, oddly enough, like, I'm going to say this as someone who loves this fact, and I'm on my second playthrough now, but it kind of almost suffers from too much to do.
I'm actually going to throw this off.
Like, there is so much going on, and you can easily beat the game without doing all of it. It's definitely one of those things where it's like a sandbox built for completionists. Because otherwise, you know, eventually you just sort of give up. There's so much going on.
Yeah, there's so much to do, which I kind of like, though.
Yeah, I do. I like that. It makes it feel really full.
With the overabundance of things to do, like, you have your completionists and whatnot, and most of the time, completionists complain that there's, like, nothing to do.
Yeah.
There's not enough to do. When there's an overabundance to do...
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not really complaining about it, but I can see it being a little less awesome. Well, it's weird, because it doesn't have to be less awesome, because you can still beat the game and do the major important stuff without hitting all of the extras. So, I think it's really well done that way.
I think they did a really good job of making up for the second one. I'm really impressed with them. They did an amazing job. It's such a great game.
And if, like me, you didn't play the second one, you can, sort of, go to DragonAgeKeep.com and basically you put in what you would have done in the second one and what you did in the first one, or if you haven't played either of them, you can put that in, and you can actually start the game with a custom world built off of those choices, which I think is very cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, although I did that for the second playthrough, and I still had male Hawk. But I got to change what he looked like at least.
I think the thing is that when it comes to protagonists of that storyline, yeah, I mean they didn't have to do that with the hero for Eldon because he or she is dead. But
Yeah.
if you didn't specify, they refer to the hero for Eldon as she.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know.
Which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I was kind of bummed out because I in Dragon Age Keep I made my Hawk a female rogue.
Yeah.
And you get to that part because the spoilers, the character shows up in Dragon Age 3. You get to that part where Hawk shows up, and it's just like, that's a dude, and that's very obviously a fighter.
Yeah.
Damn it! But they at least let me customize the look, so he kind of looks like you.
Really?
Yeah. Half the like
Does
almost.
he have the weird red stripe across his nose?
No, I took that away.
My God, it looks so dumb.
It really does. It kind of looks like someone broke his nose really weirdly and then put a Band-Aid on it.
Right? Yeah. It's just like, you're
But yeah,
welcome.
if I have an opportunity or a requirement to make a human male in a lot of games, I make you.
That's adorable.
I love you.
I make
Well,
you too.
and also I really like redheads, and I like playing redheads. So.
I don't know.
Hey.
Yeah, right.
Well, and then and you're really cute, and I like making
Thanks,
characters
Mom.
that I think are really cute. So.
Let's go change my pants.
Yeah. Everyone, go get your regulated insulin shots now.
Yeah, no shit. I made characters that look like short bearded dwarves that have blue black hair.
You make characters that look like your dad.
You may.
Because that character, because he plays.
That's not a weird incest thing.
No. He plays the same character in any fantasy game. And actually, didn't you do that in our Shadowrun game too?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he plays Gorthan, which is a character that he is based on his dad, looks wise.
So I met everyone up here in Seattle playing an MMO game, Lord of the Rings Online.
Lord of the Rings Online, which is actually an excellent MMO.
A fantastic MMO.
Yeah.
But I was living in Kansas at the time, and my brother got me a copy of Lord of the Rings Online.
Because we wanted to play with you.
The whole thing, yeah, exactly.
That's actually technically how we met.
Yes. My brother was pimping me out to everybody. He was just like, oh, we gotta get him on the fucking game. So he sent me a copy of it.
He was trying so hard to get you to move up here.
Yeah.
And wrench you away from Emily.
It fucking worked. So I made a character, Gorthan Splithammer, as a dwarf. And since then, like, I can't not make that character in anything that I play.
It's true. You made it, like, what, 5 or 6 times?
Yeah, I can't stop playing it. Like, I have to play the dwarf. Like, if there's a chance to play a dwarf with, like, you know, giant long beard and braided hair at the back and it's black, fuck it, Gorthan, let's do it.
Yeah.
Dwarf. I just love the idea of just, like, a really angry dwarf that sings opera. Or like Canadian folk songs.
Yeah. Well, and amusingly enough, the character he's playing in my upcoming 5th edition campaign is Gorthan, a dwarf who he's a thunder cleric.
Yeah,
and he sings opera. It storms, very Wagnerian.
There's a domain for the new clerics that's basicly just like lightning domain or something like that.
I think it was storm.
Something. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I got the idea of just like a land-dwelling dwarves that sing opera at lightning storms. And I thought it was fucking funny as fuck. Which means that I'm gonna do it for like one game. I'm gonna like sing opera,
and then completely
like,
forget.
Never do that again. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm just gonna like, singing opera.
You know, I'm gonna get like a pokey stick and poke you if you don't actually sing opera.
No, I'm gonna do it. And I guarantee like the rest of the group's gonna be like, never do that again.
No, it'll just be Pete, which means you have to do it again.
Oh, I'm okay.
Because, like, you and Mal and Carrie will already be ridiculing Pete.
Yeah,
and Leanna will just learn to poke at Pete. Because that's, like, I know her. That's how that will go. And it'll be magical. Mm-hmm. And Pete will feel like home.
Yeah. So, that first is coming up.
Pete's gonna see this video sometime. He'll be like the 3rd person who watches it. He's gonna come over in the middle of the night and be like, "Fuck all of you."
Is, like, we've been doing this for what, over an hour now?
I think we're at an hour. Let's check. Almost an hour.
Okay, cool. He's not gonna watch this anywhere near that long.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, he's gonna hit like 30 minutes, but like, just talk.
They're this is boring.
Yeah.
Why are my friends boring?
We could talk about magic. Dude, I haven't played Magic in forever.
Yeah, me either. Like, I
I have
stopped
no
playing
idea how to
Magic
talk
before
about it.
you did.
Yeah, God,
Yeah.
I don't even. God, I do not remember Magic at all, actually.
I remember a little bit.
I remember some things about
But
Magic.
yeah, if I wanted to go play again, well, especially now that it's been so many years and there's been so many new rules and everything, I would completely have to go over the rule set again and learn a whole bunch
I
of new
could
shit.
pretend that I know about Magic, but all I'm going to be doing is quoting
the
things that I remember
last,
from like Ice Age.
yeah, the last set I ever bought was Mirage.
Was that the first one? No, that was
No,
Portal.
no, no, no. That was
Portal.
after Homeworld or whatever the crap it was.
Sure.
Yeah. And I never
I
played
believe
it.
you.
Like, I bought a booster for Mirage when it came out, and that was right around the time when I stopped playing, so I'm just like, eh.
Yeah.
So there have been like a million sets since then.
Oh, not a segue at all. But
The other day when I was changing the subject.
Right, yeah, the other day one of my pants. PlayStation Plus right now has the DLC for Infamous Second Son up for free.
Yeah, it's First Light. Very good.
Amazing story. Like the game itself, like Infamous Second Son was what it was.
It was fun.
It was fun. Story. This DLC story is like 100%
Yeah,
awesome.
I was really happy when they announced this
Holy
DLC
shit.
because she had such an amazingly compelling backstory that I was
Fetch?
just like,
Yeah.
I was like, can we play her?
Yeah, yeah. Out of
Because
all
he's
the
kind of
characters,
meh.
yeah, out of all the characters,
Yeah.
Fetch had
Yeah.
the most awesome story going on, and this DLC, fucking amazing so far.
It's
I haven't
great.
finished it yet.
It's very good. Yeah.
But the amount of backstory alone, Christ, I'm like I think an hour into it maybe.
Yeah.
Is
I think
amazing.
I've got like
it really
3 or
is.
4.
The collection stuff around Seattle is very minuscule, but that's okay.
Also,
You're basically playing it for the story.
For those of you who don't live in Seattle or have never been to Seattle,
oh no, this has been a thing that I've seen in reviews.
Yeah,
like the fact
that looks nothing like Seattle.
The fact that the developers who are in Seattle,
they're in Bellevue, but still close enough to be Seattle. And well, I think what happened, if I had to guess, I'd say that they were already built the game mostly and then got the rights to do the Space Needle.
Think?
And that took most of their budget, because that's expensive. And then they probably were just like, oh, fuck, let's just slap a few landmarks around and call it good.
My favorite thing, though, is like jumping on top of the needle.
Either that or because they're in Bellevue, they really hate Seattle.
Facing north and then turning left and immediately seeing water.
Yeah.
And it's just like, huh?
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's
if
like right there.
Yeah. If you were on top of the Space Needle and you looked over, you would see water, but it wouldn't be right there.
It wouldn't be like a block away.
Yeah. A couple blocks.
Jesus. So
Yeah.
funny. Anyway, but yeah, if you're a PlayStation Plus member, go pick it up. It's amazing. It really is. It's a really rich story. There's a secondary.
And you don't need you don't actually need Infamous Second Son to play First Light.
Oh yeah, you can just download it and play it.
It's standalone.
Yeah, it's great. What was the second game that was on there? It was
Swapper.
Yeah.
The Swapper.
Haven't played it. I've downloaded it.
I looked at the trailer and I don't know, like I just wasn't that impressed by it.
Yeah.
So let me know if it's good.
Okay. You've been addicted to Risk of Rain?
Oh yeah, Risk of Rain.
Yeah, I haven't tried that yet.
Oh man, Risk of Rain is.
I haven't even tried it yet.
It's sort of kind of a roguelike where it's basically they've got a couple of different versions of every map. But once you've played it a bunch of times, you bamf into a map and you're like, oh okay, it's this one. And you do your thing.
Oh, so it's consistent map wise.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just.
Is it consistent spawn wise in the maps?
No.
Or okay, so that's different.
Yeah.
So kind of.
So basically,
so
like
every.
Yeah. So every area has a different. It basically has like 3 or 4 different maps.
Uh-huh.
And so depending on what you get this time, you log into a different section. Essentially.
Oh, okay.
And you can't get to the other ones. Like each map is independent, and that's just what you get for that round.
Right.
And then you basically you go through a bunch of times, and you fight a bunch of enemies, and you open up chests, and you get a bunch of different random ass items, and they buff you in different ways, and some of them are use items, so you can do different stuff and all this thing. And basically, you're trying to get through and level up and get more items and buff yourself up and get burly. And then go to your ship that you use to, fly through space, and that has crashed on this planet, and sort of fight your way through the ship and get your ship back and fight the big boss at the end, and then take off and go home. But yeah, it's a really simple premise. It's a very, very crack-like game. It's really, especially because you're trying to collect all these different items and get all this stuff and
Yeah.
make yourself this big bad thing. It's really fun, and there's a bunch of artifacts that you can get that will give you like different experiences. Like one of them is it's the glass artifact where your damage increases by like 500%, but you're down to like I think 15% of your hit points, right? It actually sounds kind of shitty, but it's actually kind of badass. Yeah,
If you
like
don't get
because
hit, apparently.
well, but the thing is, there's items you can get that'll increase your max hit points.
Oh, okay, so this doesn't like supersede other things. It's
No,
just
no, no,
a,
no.
okay.
And as you level up, your hit points get higher. So,
Okay.
and you do so much damage. It's really, really cool.
Well, I was watching you the other day.
Yeah.
Playing like one of your max out characters.
Yeah,
just like,
it was crazy pants.
you can't die.
Yeah, kind of. And yeah, so it's a really cool game. It's really, really crackalicious. It's available on Steam. I don't remember how much it is. It's not super expensive, and I think if you watch Steam sales, you might be able to catch it for slightly cheaper.
Looks like a lot of fun.
It is. It's a ton of fun. It's really, really gorgeous for that style of like old school pixel graphics.
You know what we should do before the next video? We should play a lot more of the other MMO that we have subscriptions to. Final Fantasy. Yeah, that we haven't been playing at all. Like we got subscriptions to Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
Because
a friend of ours who lives in Colorado.
Yeah.
And we never get to see him.
And
play.
We haven't really been.
And
playing
we're
MMOs.
both big Final Fantasy dorks.
Huge.
So.
And I played the original Final Fantasy MMO that came out.
Oh yeah, 11. I played it too. It was
exactly.
Not great.
I liked it. I just didn't have any time to play it because I was working a lot of jobs at the time.
Dude, it took me 6 months to get to level 16.
Yeah.
And I was so pissed off when I got to like a high enough level to go into a new area because I've been like, man, I've been fighting nothing but these fucking weird ass bunny rabbits. I'm looking forward to a new enemy, and I roll up into this next area, and it's fucking weird ass bunny rabbits that just have a different name.
See, that just reminded me of like the original EverQuest. Like when I first started playing EverQuest, like the first EverQuest.
Yeah.
Where how it took like for fucking ever to get anything different.
Yeah, see, I never played the first EverQuest. I played the second one, but I played Ragnarok Online.
I never played that.
Oh my god! So Ragnarok, it still technically exists, I think.
Yes, it does.
I played Ragnarok Online when it was in beta for a million years. Like seriously, RO was in beta for
that was
really fuck a long time.
I think because it couldn't actually like get it sold.
Yeah.
Right. They couldn't actually get a.
Yeah. It eventually
it
did eventually go out of beta and go into an actual release. You had to pay for it and everything like that. And I was playing when it did that. But we started in beta, and this was when Spencer and I were dating. Actually, a friend of mine, awesome dude. And yeah, this was my first MMO, and it's adorable.
Okay. Like
it is the cutest thing in the world because it's all little sprites and it's like chibi and shit.
I said I've never played it. I never played it beyond caring.
Yeah.
I tried it for I think a couple days.
and
just fucking didn't care.
It is such a Korean game. Because from what I've heard, like, my sister actually lived in Korea for a year teaching English, and I've known a couple other people who've gone over to Korea or who are from Korea. In America and in a lot of other countries, we like the quest system. We like having these sort of micro goals, essentially. Ragnarok Online doesn't have any of that. The entire gist of Ragnarok Online is level, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Just level. Just go kill shit and level up.
You know a game that reminded me of, which is why I got sick of it? Ultima Online.
Yeah. And yeah, it was very much one of those games where, like, there's no quests, there's no jobs, there's no nothing. It's just basically you choose your class, and you eventually get a class upgrade, which is cool. I had an assassin named Ale, among other things. But that's my favorite character, the one I remember the most. But there was nothing else to do. You just went out and fought shit. And there were, like, a million maps, million different screens, and as you got bigger, you go out and fight bigger shit, and there's some bosses and all this crap, and you get cool hats, and that really, like, that was it. And yet somehow, because it was my first MMO, that was like I played that game for years, And like I played it with my boyfriend at the time and some of his friends who were in Idaho. And
Wow.
so we had like people to play with. We would get on voice chat. It was awesome.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, it was a good time. And then I played. Oh God, what did I play next? I think. I don't remember what my next MMO was, but it was a more standard sort of WoW type experience, where you've got quests, you've got all of these different attack skills and everything.
Was it Anarchy?
Might have been. Yeah, I think it was actually. It was Anarchy.
Anarchy Online is really hard. Really, really hard.
And yeah, that was actually part of the problem. Was I went from Ragnarok Online, where there's like the only challenge is just getting high enough level to go kill the shit in this area.
You never played WoW, right?
I briefly played WoW.
I played WoW a lot.
Yeah, I very, very briefly played WoW, and I didn't like it. Partially because I had started playing Anarchy Online, and by comparison, WoW just wasn't that great.
No, and that was a when the game first came out, that was a big, there was a big comparison.
Well,
WoW was incredible.
I hated WoW's graphics.
Yeah,
I really hated WoW's graphics,
which I didn't care about. But WoW was insanely user friendly.
Oh yeah,
it was just like welcome to Windows 7.
And Anarchy Online was not user friendly, and so I've been playing AO.
If you don't know how to make macros, you're fucked.
Yeah, I've been AO in playing that in beta, and so I got used to playing Anarchy, and then I went and tried out WoW, and I'm just like, what? This is so easy.
So I played.
What the fuck?
I played WoW up until.
And it's ugly.
From the beginning, up until Burning Crusade came out. And then Wrath of the Lich King came out, I think, next. And I stopped playing mainly because I was playing Halo a lot. And Jobs. And I didn't start playing.
You were playing Jobs?
Yeah, playing Jobs. Playing a lot of Jobs.
That's a shitty game.
That's the worst fucking game.
I hate that game.
So bad.
Jobs
I didn't
is
actually
a word,
start playing again until like the end of Wrath of the Lich King, and then I was just like I was trying to play again, and I was playing with a couple of friends of ours, Blake and Raiden.
Oh yeah, I remember when you were playing.
Because I missed it a little bit, and I was just like, what the fuck happened to this game? And I played like a rogue up till max.
I have a number of friends who are diehard wowers and have been playing forever, and every time a new expansion comes out, a whole group of them just get together and they're like, yeah, let's get to Cap and do the shit. It's awesome.
A fucking Pandaria came out.
I know some people who are very happy about that.
I watched the fucking cinematic of a human and orc fighting, and then a panda coming out of nowhere and like Qui-Gon Jinning them, or
well, and I remember
fucking David Carradine from Kung Fu and Kung Pao.
Different guy.
Right? Yeah. And I got pissed. I really did. I got kind of like mad because it was so fucking racist. Like, oh my god.
Well, so I remember watching that trailer when they first announced it too, even though I didn't play WoW. And I remember looking at it and going, "So Kung Fu Panda, huh?"
Yeah.
Got it.
Giant bags of racist. And like.
Well, I mean, have you ever watched Kung Fu Panda?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed the crap out of that movie.
The funny thing is, I watched it because Jackie Chan was playing a monkey. I was like, that's really funny. and it really had David Cross in it in a fucking family movie. I was like, fuck yes!
Yeah. I actually enjoyed the crap out of that movie, but there are a couple stereotypes in there that were a little like.
And then, yeah, it was.
Yeah. Well, it did have Jack Black as a panda bear.
I know, but like, fucking David Cross in it. It was so funny. And then Ian McShane. And then Hoffman.
Yeah,
that's the fucking like the hardcore like I don't even know what the fuck his character was. This tiny little animal thing. And anyway,
it's been a while since I watched it.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I just loved Ian McShane as the tiger because I kept like every time he came on screen, I just started swearing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Fucking Deadwood.
Yeah,
I just kept saying it. Yeah. Well, I just like imagined him calling everybody cocksucker.
Yeah.
And it made the movie even better. Anyway,
not
so
for kids.
I want to say like 4 months ago, I finally tried like Miss Pandaria, like legitimately.
You gave a shot.
And realized how fucking broken the new class is, which is the monk.
Yeah.
Like broken beyond all belief. Like in a month, I had maxed out fucking everything with that character.
You know, one of these days I really want to go back and rewatch the Achievement Hunter WoW bit where they did the Panda Priest
Panda
posse,
Priest posse.
and Gavin is just inept.
Well, my favorite
You
thing
got
about
all the people who
videos.
played WoW before who are just like sitting there waiting for the people who haven't played
Yeah.
WoW trying to figure this shit out. They're just like,
Just actually, my
really?
favorite
Come
thing
on.
was like the sadness of Gavin killing the turtles.
Oh, I know. It's like, oh, the
So
poor
funny.
turtle, it's
Anyway,
dead. Like,
so
why'd you kill it? I can't stop.
so yeah, like a couple months ago, I started playing it again, just to give it a shot, and then yeah, within like I want to say like a month and a half, I had maxed out like a tank monk class and a DPS monk class. And I was like, I'm done.
Well, I know they also
It was cool.
specifically made it easier to level up for the people who were making new
Right,
characters and wanted
exactly.
to get up to
And
this like
I totally got
insanely
that, so I
high
could
cap.
so I could see the story
Yeah,
and everything.
I mean
and
they
I
did it
finally,
with Destiny too.
and then I finally got to see
Into that, I guess.
the actual end of Wrath of the Lich King, so I could see like the actual tail end of the
yeah.
storyline of Warcraft 3,
Right.
which was one of my favorite games ever. Great RTS. So I finally got to see the tail end of like Arthas dying, blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, fuck you. And then it went into the next stage, and I was just like, I don't care.
I give
At
no
all.
fucks.
I give
No fucks
zero.
given.
I give zero fucks
Don't
about what's
care.
happening right now.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
You know what we should do?
End this video because we go for an
Well,
hour.
we should, but before we end this video, I think we should make a promise to the two people who are going to view it.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. That our next video will be a co-op Risk of Rain play.
Is there 2-player?
Yeah, huh?
Really?
Yeah, local co-op. I was trying to get online co-op to work with Spencer, but we couldn't get it to work. But local co-op should be a breeze.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm down. Alright, so
the
next video will be a gameplay?
We'll do some local co-op Risk of Rain.
Alright, so we'll get some fucking gameplays this video. We're gonna have everything on this fucking
Yeah,
channel.
so actually, before we sign off, this is the first video on the Frogbear YouTube channel.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Woo!
So I get the feeling that this channel is gonna have a lot that is gonna be all over the place. It's gonna be games. Obviously, we've been talking about games.
Yeah.
There's gonna be gameplays. There's probably gonna be some fucking cooking videos too.
Oh, there might be some cooking videos. Might be some us eating weird things and being like, "Well, this is interesting," or horrifying.
This
or
is fried
whatever.
dong.
Yeah, whatever. Basically, this is going to be our channel for the two of us, just kind of doing whatever tickles our collective fancy.
Yeah.
But we are big video gamers, so expect a lot of Let's Plays.
Yeah.
We both have a huge amount of games that we haven't finished, or we've never actually even gotten around to playing,
Yep.
or that we just really, really love to play and would like to play together. So yeah, I'm Frog.
I'm Bear. And if this channel ever turns into Jackass, please feel free to send us punches.
Anything else you want to say to the internet before we leave?
No.
All right.
No, I'm
Goodbye,
sorry.
internet.